Hey guys, this is Tech from Tech Driven, and today we're gonna install a Westin 3-inch Bull Bar. The part number of that one is 31-6000. This says 2016-2017 Toyota Tacoma, and of course we're gonna be installing it on a 2017 Tacoma Limited double cab. So first thing they tell us actually to do is actually unfasten the grill. But I'm not sure how is that gonna work since the grill is fairly high. So we're gonna start off from the bottom first and proceed to the top. See if we're gonna need those sport bars that come with it, which is the one right here that go mounted to the grill, between the grill and bar. But let's start off from the bottom and work our way out. Okay, so to start off, we're going to need the two brackets here. This is going to mount on the bottom of each of the sides. They're each marked passenger and driver side, which is good. So the way they're going to go is going to mount like this on the passenger side, and like this on driver side. So let me get to it, and of course we will need to cut out 4-inch by 1 1/4 or 1 3/8 holes on each side right there to accompany, so we can input that side in. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is loosen this bolt right here, which I believe I'm using 11/16 of an inch socket, but I believe it's something like 16 or something. Loose, you know, this is new car, so the bolts are flying fairly easily. And we're gonna need to do the same thing on the driver's side as well, because that bolt, the only bolt there, because we're gonna reuse the original hardware. So I loosened them up already. And now we're gonna prepare to cut out the holes in the front here, so we can fetch our bracket. Alright, so I did a cutout, and it's slightly smaller than the manufacturer suggests, which is, so far I made it only 3 1/4. And you know, I did a hook here for the bracket, because this has that edge here, so that's what this is for. And you know, so here it's roughly around 1 inch and 1.5 inches on a corner here. So I'm gonna actually cut up just a little bit more to make it even. So I'm just using the utility knife to scrape it off. You can probably use other tools, just I don't have anything handy at the moment. Just be careful not to cut it out too much. And the reason I did it a little smaller, and I'll show you in a second, is because when I put this in, it won't fit properly. But I don't want to cut it just to make a big hole in there, that way I can make it barely visible, because this is what it's going to do, it's going to come out. So I'm going to have to push the top inside a little bit, but this will work. And like you can see here, I have very minimal play. So it's better take your time and cut out slowly from the middle out, and to make sure it fits. Plus I may have to do some adjustment later on to see for the between the distance, because you do want to make sure that it's centered. So we'll do that later, and I don't want to go overboard on each side in case I'm going the wrong side. So we'll hold off to cutting out more until we have the second bracket in and we have it aligned. Alright, on the passenger side, I did the same thing. I made this sort of like a L here shape, and just enough to get the bracket in for now. And once I have that secured in a way, I'm gonna put in the bar and make sure it's a level, and that way I know if I should go left or right to make that small difference. But for now, this is good, and I'm gonna mount this bracket and try to touch the rest of it. So now that I got the brackets in for now. They're not tightened all the way yet, just so it's there so we can align it. We're gonna take one of the round ones, brackets. This is the one that goes to the sides here. I still haven't figured out which side it's gonna go on. We're gonna measure distance between each of those brackets, but first I'm gonna just grease the bolts as well, so the way if we can screw it for a reason, it will be easy to do, plus it will avoid rust. I mounted it for now just to practice the bars to be on the inside, and I can see it's about 35 or so in space. However, my car brackets are about 38, so there's no way I can readjust, you know, almost 3 inches in space. So this means the bracket's gonna have to go on the outside. So I'm gonna flip it right now. I actually took the Westin box and put it under the car with the Bull Bar, because I'm doing it by myself, and this way if I drop it for a reason, it's not gonna scratch on the pavement. And I haven't tightened the screws on each side like you see here, so you see the brackets are on the outside. I'm gonna mount them on the outside as well from this side, on each side. And first I'm gonna screw with one screw, and then to align it with the second one. So as soon as you put it on the 2 screws on each side here, what you want to do is, you know, once, because those brackets will make it straight, this is where you want to tighten those screws here in the bar bowl, because you want to make sure that this is in fact fully straight right in the middle of that bar. But because I can rotate a little bit, that's why I didn't tighten it all the way yet. But as soon as we get those bolts here, we'll do that. We'll tighten those 2 first, and on this side as well. Alright, so this is what it looks like when you get one of the bolts in. Still on the floor here. So on this side, from the outside, you're gonna have one washer, and on the inside you're gonna have one washer first, and then after that we're gonna do the locking washer. We're gonna just slowly tighten this a little bit. We don't want to tighten it just yet. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Alright, so I got the other side as well. So that way we can lift them up and see how it will look. So if I drop it down a little, I won't have to actually get a plate replacement. If I put it straight, then it's obstructing and I will have to relocate the plate, which there's accessory for that as well. So let's see if I'm gonna actually do that or not. Alright, now that we got the bolts in, you know, it's still loose fairly, looking for adjustments. What we want to do is just center the cap here and tighten those screws on each side. So that way, because we still should have play here, but so right now that should be aligned like that, because the screws are holding it, and so we can make sure this is in center now and tighten those up. Alright, so they got the bar installed pretty much. It's not fully tightened just yet, but as you can see it's fairly flimsy. I could probably tighten it and it'll be less flimsy, but it's still probably a good idea to run the fastened bars here to make sure it's more secure. To remove the grill, you want to get those 2 bolts out, and then on each side there's this clip on here. Same thing on this side. Once that is done, head and slowly pull it up, and it should just come out. Just make sure you don't drop it, you don't want to scratch at this point. Voila, very simple. So I was debating for a while whether I should install the brackets. As you can see here, I touched one on one of the sides, second one is still missing. I was deciding whether I should put it on the bottom or the top, and whether if I should even install it in the first place. What I was looking at from top, of course, it's all about the impact and what you think is going to be more important to you. If somebody does hit you and the bar goes inside, you will damage the bumper most likely, and maybe even the grill that's here. If you don't have the supporting bar, if you do, there's a small chance that can bend the rear frame. It shouldn't, as you can see here, it's actually bent here, so technically this should fold and saving the radiator frame from folding into the body. Hopefully that's the case, and so I'm gonna install it just to keep the better support for the bar, and hopefully this will do the job. To get it installed, you gotta feed it through the bottom. You can see it in the bottom on the bottom one, so I'm gonna refeed this one, which is actually a pain in the butt. You gotta be careful not to damage the radiator. But it's doable if you just fetch the true middle going out. Here we go. Get this one in. All I gotta do is put the nuts and tighten it. So just make sure when you tighten it that it's, try to get as flat as possible with this. Get it flashed. Alright, hopefully you can see it. You lift the bar a little bit just so it can make a clearance. I tightened the bulbs here and in the frame. As you can see, very small gap. I mean, very tiny. But if this thing folds, anybody hits it from the top, it will go up. Even if it goes up so just a little bit, you know, I should be safe. If it goes a lot, you know, there's something definitely broken, you know. But unfortunately, if somebody hits you that hard, then I don't know if there's any hope. Hey guys, I'm done. Probably not to get sort of dark, but I'm done. I installed the grill back, so the screws, the clips on the side. So there's like two sort of pins, so you gotta make sure it goes straight in. And this is how it looks like. All bolts are tightened. It's fairly straight. I can probably do it a little more, but I wanted to leave it right outside so I don't see the metal pieces sticking out. So if you want to, you can move it out, push it in a little, just a little more, probably 1/4 of an inch, maybe up to half tops inside if you want. But to me it looks fairly aligned, and since I spend a lot of time on it debating, I decided, you know, it's better just to leave it the way it is. So I like it. And of course I still gotta sort of covering my plate here. I didn't tighten those screws here all the way because there's Westin has license relocating bracket, so you don't have to do it if you want to. You can lift it up a little, but the original one is covering. And if you're in a state that requires that you have a front plate, you know, there's I believe they ticket you if your plate is covered. So this is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you.